My name is Jordan Green-Ellis, inspirational speaker, award-winning inspirational speaker, educational consultant, and author. And I'm so delighted, ignited, and excited to be with you all today for the 2021 Track Summit. It is going to be an amazing time. Just to really give you a little bit of information about me, I am going to be with you guys for the next 15 to 20 minutes, but I want to let you know that this information is going to be vital. I'm going to talk to you from my background in education, specifically as a teacher in K-12, as well as my background as a higher education professional. And now, as an inspirational speaker, educational consultant, helping families to prepare for college and beyond. College and career readiness is my thing. But today's session, I want to start off by giving you guys a little bit of information about me. I also run the Teacher Success Podcast. It is an amazing podcast where we elevate the minds of the individuals who touch every single profession, the number one profession in the world that touches every profession on the earth, and that's the teacher. So the Teacher Success Podcast, yes, I am an education baby. My mother's a 36-year educator. I want to tell you a little bit more information about her. In January of 2020, I walked into my church's sanctuary. My mother's the pastor, and we had a conversation. At that particular time, I was newly married, and my mom and I hadn't had a chance to really catch up. So we were sitting down having a conversation, and the conversation was going very, very good until a point where I remembered that my mom was about to retire. And so because I remember she was about to retire, I just asked her a question. I say, hey, Mom, what are you going to do to sustain yourself financially after you retire? And so when I answered this question, this individual who had taught for nearly 4 decades students and families how to formulate sentences, how to put their thoughts together, had no words to say. She taught English for many, many years, but she could not formulate words in that moment. I had only ever felt this or seen this particular look on my mom's face one other time, and it was when my cousin was tragically murdered. And she looked at me and said, son, I don't know. She didn't have an answer. And so from that moment on, I committed my life to preparing educators, to preparing students, and to preparing people for their next level in life, whether or not they recognize they have one. Yes, we love education, but there's an even greater school that all of us will be enrolled in until the day we expire. It's called the School of Life. And so in educational circles and in the School of Life, what I know to be true is that there are necessary keys that we will all need to unlock that door in front of us. Today, we're going to talk about that door called high school and college graduation. That's right. All of you awesome educators, awesome administrators, tenacious teachers that are in the classroom working hard every day. Listen, y'all, I know what it looks like from my own experience and from seeing my mother work for almost for my entire life, 36 years, nearly 4 decades. I know what it looks like, and I know that it gets tiresome, but I want to let you know first, before we get into the keys, I got to let you know this, that you are the one who is going to keep you going. Hear what I'm telling you. Once you get these keys today, I promise if you lock in with me for the next 10 to 15 or 20 or so minutes, you're going to get everything that you need and more. So really quickly, I want you to ask yourself this question. I wanted to paint this picture for you. This was the best year possible. Today is June the 30th, 2022. This is a hypothetical situation, of course, y'all. Don't think too deep. Go ahead and swim up. Today is June the 30th. 2022. You just had the best school year possible. We've come off of the Delta variant of COVID-19. We've come off of virtual learning. Everything is rocking and rolling. We had the most amazing year. I want you to ask yourself, matter of fact, write these 3 things down. What 3 to 5 things were accomplished to make this year the best year possible? I'll give you a couple of seconds. We don't have that much time, but I want to give you a couple of seconds to really think about that thing. And if you can't come up with that now, here's what I want to challenge you to do. Before you start the school year, before you start the next semester, I want you to have the vision of what you want this year to look like before it ends. Here's what I'm telling y'all. The vision is going to serve as your target. Otherwise, your ammo, your ambition, the things that you say that you want, those are going to serve as darts for your target. And so what you need to know is that vision of what you want your year to look like is so vitally important. Because when something or someone tries to show you another vision of what your classroom should look like, what your school community should look like, what your campus should look like, you're going to reject that other vision and pursue the one that you have set before you even started. 3 to 5 things. What happened? Did you have increased test scores? Did you have increased academic engagement? Did you have increased engagement from the parents? Whatever it may be, whatever it is, did you decrease the dropout numbers? Hear what I'm telling you. Whatever it is that you set your mind to, I'm going to give you 3 keys today, possibly one more if we have enough time, so that you can accomplish all that you desire. Listen, y'all, I got a question. Are you ready to get into the first key? If you're ready, I just need you to say within yourself, okay? I don't want you to think too deep. I don't want nobody to think that you're crazy. Say within yourself, I'm ready for the keys. And if you said that to yourself, I want to present to you key number 1. Here in this picture is an individual named John Stephen Akari. He is one of the individuals who ran in the 1968 Olympic Games. And as you can clearly see on his right leg, he has a bandage, but he did not start this race with the bandage on his leg. But he finished the race with the bandage on his leg. In short, what happened to John Stephen Akari is that in the middle of the race, he sustained an injury that should have stopped him. He sustained an injury that should have taken him out of the race. But he finished the race. And so after the race ended, of course, this struck the attention of those who were watching this race, and an individual came with a camera, a news reporter, and asked John. He said, "John, what was going on in your mind to help you finish this race?" He said, he stood flat-footed, and he said to the individual holding the camera, he said, "Sir," he said, "Sir, my country didn't send me almost 6,000 miles to start a race. They sent me here to finish one. And I'm telling you, you tenacious teacher, you awesome administrator, those of you guys who are committed to helping students prepare for their future, whether or not they feel like it, whether or not they've come prepared and ready, what I need you to know is that there's number 1 key you've got to do is make a decision. You've got to choose success. I want you to choose yourself. I want you to choose the success of your students that you're with. And here's the thing about choosing a thing and making a decision. To make a decision, in my definition, this is from the book of Jordan Green-Ellis. Y'all listen. To make a decision is to reject all other options. What am I talking about? I'm talking about those other options where your student is thinking that it's going to be better for them to drop out. Come on, y'all. We already know the statistics. We already know that that's going to be harder for this individual to put food on the table. Chances are they're going to turn to other things that are unbecoming. And we know what we want our society to look like. Hear what I'm telling you guys. The only reason, the number 1 reason why, listen, y'all, it's not because of teacher instruction. It's not even because of the home environment. But one of the number 1 reasons why students drop out of high school and drop out of college is because they don't think that they can overcome the situation that they're in. Most of the times, it's failing grades. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a decision to succeed, to be committed to the cause. And here's another thing that I want you to be committed to. I want you to be committed to you, because you can't pour from an empty cup. Hear what I'm telling you. In order for you to have success with your students, with your scholars, with their parents, with your administrators, to change the trajectory of their future, to literally change the world. Do you know that there's an even greater pandemic going on right now? It's called inequity in education. Don't you know that pandemic that I've called it can be cured, can be vaccinated by the right teacher being in the right position, by the right educator being in the right position, but it starts with making a decision, and that's rejecting all other options, whether it be to something less than, whether it be to completely quit it all. I need you to know this without doubt in your mind, that you've got to make a decision. That's to reject all other options. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Listen, if you didn't, make sure that you go back and watch it on the replay so that you can get it again. We're thinking about those 3 things that happen, right? What decisions do you need to make so that they can happen? What are the things that you need to choose and stick to? Just like John Stephen Akari's country sent him nearly 6,000 miles to start a race, the program that you studied in sent you to start a race. When you came to the earth, you came with a divine natural assignment in addition to your DNA. And I'm pretty sure that if you're still here, it's for you to be in the classroom. No one can be what they are, what they aspire to be without the help and without the love of a teacher. Let's go ahead and get into key number 2. Key number 2 is really simple. I love it. This is a picture of me almost 25 or so years ago. I'm on the right-hand side. My brother is on the far left, and in the middle is one of the greatest leaders that I've ever encountered. His name is Charles Ellis. That's my dad. And if you can look closely in my hand, there's a drill gun. There's a drill gun in my hand, and I'm about 3 years old in this picture, right? There is absolutely no way that I was able to use that drill gun without the help of my dad. But in addition to that, what I'm telling you guys is this, is that sometimes I'm going to highly suggest to you that you get a mentor teacher. Well, you're saying to yourself, well, I'm a veteran teacher. I'm telling you that there's someone who has experienced what you have done, what you're going through right now, that can help you along the way. None of us can do what we aspire to do on our own. That's not even key number 2. That's like 1B or prior to key number 2. I want you to get a mentor teacher, someone who's going to pour into you, someone who's going to stand behind you so that you don't fall off the ladder or so that you don't drop out of the race. Hear what I'm telling you. Get a mentor teacher. Get someone who can help to prune you so that you can grow into all that you're supposed to be. But that's not key number 2. Key number 2 is a very vital lesson that I was taught at a very young age. You can clearly see it. Key number 2 is be willing to build. Anything that I desire to achieve in my life, even accomplishing the things that I've done at the age of 28, I've built it. And it's because of my willingness to stay committed to the decision that I made, even when I don't necessarily feel like it. Hear what I'm telling you guys. Every single student that you encounter has a gem of brilliance. Every single learner, every single student, every single individual has a gem of brilliance. And this is a shout out to my sister, Miss, I almost called her doctor, excuse me, Miss Andretisha Fitzgerald with the Cleveland City Public Schools. I had on the Teach Success podcast, and she dropped this gem. And it's so vital to you guys today, because everyone that you encounter has a gem of brilliance. But what you have to understand about gems, specifically diamonds, is that there is a process that they need to go to or go through so that they can be of their full value. Hear what I'm telling you guys. Every learner has a gem of brilliance inside of them. And so because you are the teacher, you are the one who's in control, you have your hands on the wheel, you have to see beyond the surface. I don't want you to see the diamond rough. I want you to see the end result. I want you to take time to look deeply into this individual that you encounter on a regular basis and say to yourself, hey, there's a diamond inside of this young lady. There's a diamond inside of this young man. And what my responsibility is to put pressure on that diamond, to cut it so that it can be of its full potential and full value, to put it under an immense amount of heat so that it can be developed in such a way that this individual is going to get all that they need out of life. Can I tell you a story? When I was in high school, I was not the greatest student, okay? I was an average student, but I especially had a true disdain for math. And I had a teacher whose name was Mr. Nigel Sequeira, who made a decision, key number 1, who made a decision to commit his afternoons to me, not so that I could be a mathematician. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. Not so that I could be the best math or IB statistics students, but it was because he saw me at 28 years old while I was 17. Hear what I'm telling you guys. You've got to push that student. You've got to be committed to building that student. You've got to be committed to building that classroom environment, building up the parents. Yes, this is what you take on when you become a teacher. This is what you take on when you become an educator. This is what you take on when you become a counselor. This is what you take on every single day that you walk onto your campus or into your school's doors. Hear what I'm telling you. You've got to be willing to build it. And Mr. Nigel Sequeira didn't necessarily want to make me into a math teacher. He wanted to develop something inside of me that was going to help me to be successful in life. Come on, y'all. We already know it's not all about school. It's more about the student. Students retract when they don't see the value in what is happening. I trusted Mr. Sequeira not because he was a good math teacher, but because I knew that he was invested in me. Do your scholars, do your students, do the individuals that you stand before on a regular basis know that you have their best interest at heart? And so it was easy for me to come every day before I went to practice, to go get my extra work done and get ahead so that I would never fall behind. Listen, y'all, we've all heard the things about going the extra mile, but here's what I'm telling y'all. In the 2021-2022 school year, you've got to go the extra mile. You've got to put in more than what you've ever done before. Here's the reason why. Because if you're expecting something different, then you've absolutely positively got to do something different. Here's what I want to tell you this before I get into key number 3. We're running out of time, but I want to make sure that you get all that you need. I want you to lead with love, right? I trusted Mr. Sequeira because he showed me his heart. Yeah, he was a tough teacher. Yeah, he had great classroom management skills. He didn't play that, if you understand what I'm saying, right? But when I got into the situation where he knew I needed help and he saw that I was willing at times, he allowed his heart to be shown so that I could trust him. So I want you to let love lead the way. Another thing that I want you to do, especially for those students that are on the brink of dropping out of whatever program they're in, I want you to create space for student-centered inspiration. And I mean every single day. As you can clearly see, I have a baby face, okay? But I'm 28 years old. But I started teaching when I was 21. And when I was 21, I taught high school. And many of my students had more responsibility than me. Many of my students had more facial hair than me. And so when I first came in, I came in the middle of the year and they had 2 teachers quit on them already. Hear what I'm telling you. They weren't trying to listen to Jordan Green-Ellis. So I had to figure out a way to connect so that they would listen to me. And so if you're struggling, not even just with classroom management, but connecting in such a way so that your students are inspired to learn, what I want you to do is I want you to lead with motivation that has the student at the center. They need to see that what they are learning, the reason why they are in this particular classroom is so that they will be of benefit, so that they will gain from this, so that their interests will be at the forefront. That's your responsibility. You've got to create that space every single day because it's hard to forget something that's at the front of your mind. It's hard to get discouraged when I'm reminded of where I want to go. Going back to that vision board, I know we've heard people talk about it, but can I tell you that your vision board will serve as ammo for you? The problem that many of your students face is that they don't realize that they're in a fight. And the ones that do sometimes don't realize that they have the means and they have the resources to fight back. One of those things, one of those methods to fight back is their ability to cognitively remember and keep at the front of their mind where they are headed. You've got to create a space so that the student feels at the center of whatever it is that you're doing. It could be culturally relevant pedagogy. If you're an English teacher and you're talking about Shakespeare, I want you to put yourself in the setting so that your students can connect. You may have to wear a different outfit to put your students in the setting, but whatever it takes, if it's current events, whatever it takes, create the space. And it literally took me about a month to grab the attention and show my students when I was first teaching that I actually cared about them. They still call me second dad to this day. We're running out of time, but I got to give you this last key. It's my most important. It's my favorite. And it's something that I can imagine that some of you guys, if you come from a place like where I came from, and if you were raised by people like how I was raised, you probably heard this statement. And it's really simple. Don't think too deep. It comes from the individual that I started off talking about, my mother. She used to tell me, not because I was a disrespectful little kid or didn't know when and when not to speak, or because I talked too much, but she used to tell me to watch my mouth. She used to say, Jordan, you better watch your mouth. Can I be real? Sometimes she would say, I don't know who you think you're talking to, but you better watch your mouth. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but I heard that pretty often during my upbringing. And again, it wasn't because I was always in trouble. I was a pretty good kid. It wasn't because I didn't know how to stop talking. But it was because of this reason that I want you to get. She understood this concept that I didn't understand and that I want you to take forward with you for the rest of your career. She told me to watch my mouth because the thoughts that you think become the words you say. And the words you say soon after becomes the world that you see. And so here's what I'm telling you. First, number one, I want you to watch your mouth. There are some things that you would need to stop saying about your current situation. I know you're tired. I know you feel like you want to quit. And so when you feel those moments, don't say words that are going to push you to quit. I want you to say words that are going to push you back into what you're doing. In addition to that, right? Not just to encourage yourself, I want you to take time for yourself as well. We know that self-care is like a buzzword right now. Everybody's talking about it. But I want to tell you this, y'all. There's absolutely no way that you can be as effective as you desire if you yourself are pouring from an empty cup. In fact, it's an oxymoron. You can't do it. There's absolutely no way. So I want you to stop saying some things about yourself or your situation. Can we be real, y'all? We've all been in those settings when we what I call the teacher's lounge, right? It may not be specifically in the teacher's lounge, but we've been in settings where sometimes teachers and educators, you know, we may get in our feelings a little bit. I'm just going to be real, right? And so when you get in your feelings, I want you to use words to get yourself out of those feelings. Don't make the mistake of speaking words that are going to be detrimental to your psyche when you get in front of that special student, the one that needs a little bit more attention, or the one that may not necessarily be getting this information as quickly as you think they should. And finally, here's what I want to tell y'all. As opposed to, in addition to not saying certain things, I want you to start telling yourself some certain things as well. Like, I literally want you to look in the mirror and tell yourself that you're going to make it. I literally want you to look in the mirror and tell yourself what I told you at the beginning, that you weren't set to this particular environment to start a race, to start a school year, but to finish one. And so here's what I want you to do in closing. I want you to literally take some time every single day to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you're going to make it, that you can do it, that you can have a successful classroom, that you will decrease the dropout numbers, that you will increase the social emotional learning environment and in your school setting. You can do it. Why? Because you've got the power to. Listen, y'all, this is Jordan Green-Ellis. I'm signing out, but I'll see you soon. Always remember that if nothing changes, then absolutely nothing will change. And you have the power to make a change. And don't let nobody tell you anything different. And don't get it twisted. You are the one who's in control. So take control. Get it done. Have the absolute best school year ever. Take care.